What's going on, my Jets family? I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the Take Flight Spit and Fire podcast. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you tuning in. You got me, Harrison Glazer, always excited to be talking to you guys all about them Jets. So we're going to hop right in. Before we do, if you haven't, if you could please subscribe to the channel, you could do so by clicking on the logo in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. That'd be much, much appreciated. But let's jump into this because I've been noticing a trend on social media. And the trend I've been noticing on social media is how, as we know and as I've talked about, Joe Douglas killed this last draft. Joe Douglas had an absolutely fantastic draft, absolutely killed it. We talked about it the last episode I was on with you guys. Fortunately, I couldn't be with you guys last week. My apologies. But the week before that, we got all into the draft. Talked about all the Jets draft picks, how amazing that draft was. Getting the best, one of the best players in the entire draft, the best CB, one of the best wide receivers, one of the best edge rushers, the best running back, a quality later round offensive lineman that has the ability to develop into something special, quality later round tight end. Joe Douglas absolutely killed it. And right after that draft, like immediately after that draft, all the eyes started turning on Mr. Zach Wilson, Mr. 2. I saw it on social media. It seemed across the board. Everybody finally realized something that you guys know I've been saying for a long time. I've been saying that Joe Douglas is a great GM. I've been saying it. You guys know since back in that 2020 draft. Granted, back then, that draft, a lot of people didn't like it as much. I felt, I thought I liked the picks he'd made. I liked the decisions he made, the trades he made. I'd said it back then. I'd said it after that 2021 draft. It was amazing. Unbelievable draft. Finally, after this last one, everybody's on board. You guys have seen it. There's no more questioning anymore of Joe Douglas. The questioning is over. Everyone knows that Joe Douglas is the freaking man. He's got the Midas touch. He's going to turn this team to gold, baby. He's not the problem. But all the eyes, like we said, turned to Zach Wilson. Now everyone's saying again, like we've been saying, that Joe Douglas is a great GM. He knows how to draft. He's building this team for success. Will Zach Wilson be the guy? That's what seems to be, excuse me. And I appreciate you guys out there. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you tuning in. Please bring your questions, bring anything you want to talk about. Want to talk to you guys about this topic. And then I want to address everything that you guys wanted to talk about or ask about. And please, appreciate all you guys. Appreciate you guys listening. Appreciate you tuning in. So bring it. But as you guys saw, all the eyes pivoted to Zach Wilson. Everything pivoted to, well, like we just said, Joe's built this team right. Joe has put quality all around Zach Wilson, and yes, he has. We have a backfield now of Breece Hall and Michael Carter. We have an excellent wide receiver room. We have a quality offensive line, and the defense looks very good too. Joe Douglas has built this team, and all the eyes are now on Zach Wilson. And we've seen it on social media. We've seen people going, oh, well, is Zach going to be the guy? Oh, well, it's all on Zach right now. Joe's proven that Joe's the great GM. What is Zach going to do? Can Zach be the guy? Now, you guys know how I feel, how I felt for a while. So I'm going to start it with this, and I'm going to start it with all caps. Let's stop worrying about Zach Wilson. Don't worry about Zach. Zach is going to be just fine. You guys remember, Zach was my guy. This was the guy I wanted back before last year, back before the draft, back before people were high on Zach, well before he was the second prospect in this draft. You guys remember, this was my guy. This was the guy I wanted. This is the guy that I watched at BYU. I watched his pocket awareness. I watched his pocket presence. I watched his ability to throw the football and decision make and lead his teammates. And I was like, this is going to be the guy. I hoped it was going to be for us. You guys know, I was hoping it was going to be for us. But I knew this was going to be the guy. I watched Zach play. I watched, again, you guys know, we talked about it well last year. We talked about it in a ton of detail. I kept talking about my eval and what I look for specifically in quarterbacks, a little different than what other people look for. Zach checked all my boxes. You guys remember that. Zach checked everything I looked for. His pocket awareness, his pocket mobility, his anticipation was insane for a guy at his level. It was out of this world. His ability to read defensive linemen coming around the edge, adjust in nanoseconds, make unbelievable throws on the fly and improvise was unbelievable. He just needed more talent around him. I kept saying, and you guys remember, I pointed out on social media, everyone wouldn't shut up about Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence played at Clemson. He went into a great situation. Zach Wilson went into an ass situation and made it great. He elevated that program and elevated everybody around him. That was the difference. So you guys know this was my guy. This was the guy I wanted. Again, watching this kid play, I knew it. I'm like, this kid has it. This kid has what's needed to be an excellent quarterback at the next level. What about his work ethic? What about his mental capabilities? Well, he's proven those in spades, right? We've talked about it again nonstop. Going back to last year, you guys remember in his rookie year, what did everyone, players, coaches, Jets coaches, his former coaches, everyone kept talking about his intelligence, his ability to absorb the game, his meticulousness to focus on minute details to make sure he had everything possibly down, his focus, his anticipation, his drive, his goal, his want to be great is there. And like we said, Joe Douglas has surrounded him with talent. So like we've seen, and you guys have seen it on social media, that's been the question, right? It's been, well, Joe Douglas, as I've been saying for a while, and you guys know it, been telling you guys how great Joe Douglas is. Finally, everyone's on board saying Joe Douglas is a great GM. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to draft. He knows how to build teams. He's not the problem. Can Zach be the guy? Well, you guys remember for the longest time, like I mentioned, I've been saying Joe Douglas was a great GM. He's proven it. Well, for the longest time, I've been saying that Zach Wilson is going to show everybody that he has the potential to be as good as anyone. That was my take on this kid, that he has the physical ability, the pocket awareness, the throw ability, the mental ability to be as good as anyone on the field. And like we talked about since his rookie year, constant talking about his intelligence, his work ethic. He always wants to be better. They kept saying he's always learning, right? Excuse me, guys. You remember that was all that was constantly said from last year, since when he first took a snap in a Jets uniform. He's been praised for his intelligence, for his learning ability. They've called him a sponge, how he gets things instantly, but then wants to work on it like 1,000 times to get every individual detail correct. That's exactly what you want. So all this worrying, let's cut it out. Let's put it to bed. Everyone's saying, well, this team is stacked, which it is. The only question mark is Zach. Well, I can assure you guys and take that weight off your shoulders, you don't got to worry about Zach Wilson. He's not the guy you have to worry about. All the stuff I've been pointing out, all the numbers I've been pointing out leads to this. Zach Wilson is going to have a big year too. A big year too. And that's what we see from quarterbacks that are going to be excellent at the next level. They tend to make maybe not gigantic strides to looking like an all-star, but they make big strides in year two. They play much better. They play smarter. They make better decisions. And like we just said, what has Joe done? Joe has stacked this team. Joe has made it so that offensively and defensively, we're ready to compete, baby. We're ready to compete. This team has a pass rush finally. The linebackers are going to be better. I'm telling you guys, what a pass rush there. My dog's upset about the thunder and lightning. You guys know we got, maybe you don't know, over in New York here we got some thunder and lightning going on, so she might be barking a little bit. My apologies. But the DBs, we just got sauce. You guys know I felt pretty good with DJ Reed and Bryce Hall. Now we got the best CB in college football on the Jets. He's going to be a shutdown, lockdown corner the second that man steps on the field. We talked about the backfield of Breece Hall and Michael Carter. The wide receiver room is just stacked right now with lots of talent. The offensive line looks really good. The tight ends look excellent. This team is poised to compete. Again, like we'd said, Joe Douglas went in this draft and solidified it. He solidified it, as you guys saw, to the point where no one's questioning him anymore. You guys remember, for 2 years now, I've been saying, stop questioning Joe Douglas. Joe Douglas is a great GM. He knows what he's doing. He's going to show you. Just wait. Well, we wait, and we saw. We saw what he did in the last draft in 2021, where he freaking just killed it. And I was like, man, that draft was so good. He can't do any better. But as you guys remember, I pointed out, you take Zach Wilson out of the equation, it's a better draft. It's a legitimate better draft. We walked away with 2 top 5 players and another top 10 player and the best running back in the draft with our top 4 picks. You just can't beat that. So like we said, everyone sees it now. Everyone gets it. Like I've been saying, that Joe Douglas is a great GM. He knows what he's doing. He's the right guy for the job. He's got the Midas touch. He's going to build this team right and make it good, make it a quality team, and make us competitive. But like we said, all the eyes pivoted to Zach Wilson. Well, is Zach Wilson going to be the guy? Everything else is there. Can Zach Wilson be there? Well, I am telling you guys, Zach Wilson, like I was saying back when we drafted him, this is the guy. This is the kid. As you guys remember, like we talked about, this was the kid that I wanted, that I felt could be as good as anybody. You guys remember? If you don't, please go back, check out any of the older episodes. We talked for hours about why I like Zach so much more than all the other prospects and why I thought he could be so great. I still feel that way. And look at, again, what's happening with him. We have quotes from Robert Saleh, and I'm going to bring it up for you guys right now because that's a big one. My apologies, guys. She hears the thunder and lightning. So I'm going to bring that one up for you because this was a big one by Robert Saleh. So first of all, as you guys know, one of the big things that was talked about was Zach putting on weight, right? Zach putting on weight, looking meatier, which is a big thing in year 2, right? He looks stronger. He looks bigger. He's hit the weight room, right? He came in, he worked on his mechanics and his throw ability last year. You remember his biggest problem was short accuracy passes. But as we all know, that was never a problem of Zach's. We talked about that last year, that everyone's saying, oh, this was a huge problem of Zach's. Clearly, they never watch him play football. That was never an issue of this kid. His accuracy was always on point. It was figuring out the game, adjusting to the speed, getting used to the play calling. Even Mike LaFleur admitted there was a learning curve for him. It took him time to get into the play calling, get into what Zach felt comfortable with, what he thrived in and what he might struggle with, and the reads and abilities that he liked. So, man, we talked about Zach looking meatier, putting on some weight. I do want to find this quote because it was a nice one. It was from Robert Saleh. Here we go. He said, Zach Wilson has a really good early command of the offense. And what does that mean? That means he's taking charge, baby. That means he's coming in year 2, and he's telling guys where to line up. He's telling people what to do. He's ready. He's not a rookie anymore. Like we said, we see big strides in quality quarterbacks in year 2. Year 2 is a big leap. Again, not saying he's going to come out and have like a freaking 5,000 yard or even 45, like a crazy, ridiculous year. He might, but he's going to look a lot better. My prediction, I think he's going to put up at least minimum 3,500 yards, maybe even 4,000. And I think he's going to put up 30-something touchdowns. Again, he's not going to be insane. Maybe he will, but he's going to be a lot better. He's going to have a quality year because he's going into that second year. And like we said, they say he's got a really good early command of that offense. They said, there's the little, like I mentioned before, there's the little things that he's doing. He's not a rookie anymore. And like Saleh said, he's being more vocal. That's the key. He's telling guys what to do. He's telling guys what to line up. He's accepting This is my offense. I'm going to run it, and I'm going to lead this team. Zach Wilson is 100% a leader of men. And we look at his stats last year. Yeah, his stats weren't amazing. Granted, again, he had a pretty offensive line that half the time he was running for his freaking life. That offensive line it got better toward the end of the year, but for the first half of the year, it was pretty bad. Injuries left and right. He constantly was without Elijah Moore. Then he's without Corey Davis. Then he's without other guys. Constant injuries across the board. He didn't have a great year, but he didn't have a terrible year either. But here's the key. You look at the numbers where they matter. For example, you guys remember I put it out in the red zone. Zach Wilson specifically in the red zone last year threw 6 touchdowns and no interceptions. Now, he only had what? I'm going to look it up right now. I think he only had 9 touchdowns on the year, give or take. Yeah, he only had 9 touchdowns on the year. 6 of those came from the red zone. So, yeah, he was 9-11, but a lot of those interceptions came in the beginning of the year. Remember, we talked about that, and I could bring that up to point out to you guys right now. I'll bring it up for you right now. Here we go. So before Zach Wilson's injury, he had 4 total touchdowns last year and 9 interceptions. Well, when he returned back in the beginning of January, he had 7 total touchdowns and only 2 interceptions. He's a rookie. There's going to be growing pains. It's not immediate. There's going to be mistakes. That's the point. Remember, we talked about this. Remember, we said it very clearly. Patrick Mahomes is the exception, not the standard. That's not the standard for a guy to just come out, maybe after sitting for a year, like Mahomes did, but still come out and be absolutely insane. That's not normal. There's growing pains, especially if you're a rookie. Remember, Patrick sat his rookie year, really. Zach played trial by fire. So again, we point out, struggled a little bit. But when he came back from that injury, 7 total touchdowns and only 2 interceptions. And like we talked about, out of those 9 touchdowns, 6 of them came in the red zone. Last year, in his rookie year, I can't stress that enough, in his rookie first year, with injuries all over the freaking place, an offensive line that was okay toward the end of the year, but was pretty freaking bad for the beginning of the year. Remember, there were a lot of games where he was just running for his damn life. Zach Wilson in his rookie year had 6 touchdowns in the red zone and not 1 interception. Not a single one. And like we said, when he came back from injury, he had 7 total touchdowns and only 2 interceptions. He's learning on the job. He's learning. But like Robert Saleh said, this is his second year. For the first time now, he's got an offseason under his belt. He's had an offseason to grow, to mature. And what does Zach do? Zach watches film. Zach watches film like crazy. You guys know that. Zach Wilson is a film junkie. He's been watching film non-freaking stop. And to prove that, we're going to go back and I'm going to show you another quote from C.J. Mosley. So we talked about, we talked about Zach Wilson beefing up, right? We talked about how Robert Saleh, Joe Douglas, a lot of guys says he looks meatier. He looks beefier. Well, C.J. Mosley reiterated that and added more. He said, Zach Wilson looks like he's put on some weight. He's ready to go. He's been doing things the right way. He went on to say, we don't have to worry about him not being prepared. He spends countless hours in the film room and after work trying to get better on one little thing. And that's the key. I'm going to read that line one more time. We don't have to worry about him not being prepared. Zach Wilson spends countless hours in the film room and after work trying to get better on one little thing. And that's what we're talking about here. Perfection, right? Trying to master the little things, trying to do every little thing right, and then the big things fall into place. So like we said, everyone's saying, oh, well, Joe Douglas killed it, because he did. Joe Douglas absolutely killed it, had an unbelievable draft. This team is stacked upon stacked now, ready to compete. Everyone's saying the eyes are on Zach Wilson. Everyone's like, well, Zach Wilson, maybe he can be the problem. Like we said, is he going to be the guy? He's got all this talent around him. If he fails, it's on him. Again, guys, let me reassure you. Don't forget everything we've talked about with Zach, everything we've been talking about with the numbers we just pointed out, with the drive this kid has, with the fact that he's going into year 2. He's bigger. Physically bigger, he's stronger, he's smarter, and like we said, he's always learning. And like CJ said, they ain't worried at all, because he's always trying to get better. So ladies and gentlemen, do not worry about Zach Wilson. Do not worry about him. I see people on social media, and you've seen it too, everyone's saying all eyes will be on Zach. The team is stacked, the team won't be the problem, Joe Douglas won't be the problem. Will Zach Wilson be the problem? Well, I can tell you right now, no. Zach Wilson isn't going to be the problem. Zach, again, last year, for the majority of the year, got better toward the end, but the majority of the year, not a great offensive line, not playing that well. Everybody pretty much hurt around him, had a decent year. Not a great year, but a decent year. And we talked about how the numbers went up since coming back from the injury. He got smarter with the football. He started playing better, making better decisions. Man, you guys remember, I've been saying back since when we drafted him, this was the guy I wanted. This kid has everything needed to be great and take it to the next level, and he puts the work in. He puts the work in. He's always learning. He's always getting smarter. He's always getting better. Zach Wilson is going to have a big year 2. I'm ready. Let's all get ready. Let's all get ready for a stacked team that Joe Douglas has built, and again, surrounded Zach on offense and defense with talent. Surrounded him with everything he needs to succeed, and let's watch this kid succeed. So I appreciate all you guys being here. I appreciate you guys in the comments. Jeremy, shout out. What's up, Harrison Clemens? So I guess my name should, I guess since Fadukasi's not here anymore, I'm Harrison Clemens. Man, I'll take it, bro. Clemens's arms are like the size of my legs. Like, I'll take it, man. Michael Clemens is shredded. Like, this dude looks like he's just going to take offensive linemen and grab them, pick them up, move them out of the way, and then charge the quarterback. Michael Clemens, man, he's an exciting guy. And then Jermaine Johnson. Jermaine Johnson, you guys know how I felt about this kid. This is the guy I felt he was the second edge on my board. Loved this kid potential. Felt like he was the best all-around edge rusher really in this draft when it comes to run stopping and being a strong, powerful pass rusher, as well as a pass rusher with good moves and a good repertoire. So, man, Jermaine Johnson added to this mix. Michael Clemens added to this mix. I'll be Harrison Clemens. I'll take it. Carl Lawson healthy. Man, we got an edge rush. We finally have an edge rush. Zachary points out JJ just signed. I love it, man. I love it. JJ just signed. I mean, we knew it was going to happen. But I love it, man. JJ, again, not enough can be said about this kid. If you didn't see, I put it out on Twitter because it's just so impressive. In his first year last year, remember, it was his first year at Florida State because he had transferred there. He put up an 81.1 PFF grade. That was the highest grade of any ACC edge rusher last year, and the highest grade of any Florida State edge rusher since 2018. Man, he's coming for quarterbacks. Remember, the last time we had a top prospect off the edge was John Abraham. I mean, shit, we're going back, 20 years? We're going back a long time. We finally have a top prospect, because remember, we got him at 26. Me and Daniel, I had him higher, but even Daniel Jeremiah had him as the number 9 prospect. He was a top 10 prospect, a top edge rusher that we somehow got at 26. Again, you guys remember I pointed out second best edge rusher on my board. Arguably, I felt, one of the best edge rushers in this draft, the most well-rounded, excellent against the run, excellent against the pass. Remember, I told you watch this kid at Florida State. He bowled offensive linemen, like literally bowled them back into the quarterback, including guys like Aquanu, and he had decent pass rush moves as well, and he's good against the run. So, man, Jermaine Johnson, Michael Clemens, It's exciting, man. It's exciting. So Jenny points out, shout out to Jenny. Appreciate all you guys. Shout out to all you guys. Please, bring your questions, bring your comments. Really, really appreciate it. Appreciate you guys being here. Jenny says she loves Dak's dedication. Man, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, Jenny, that this kid is dedicated. He puts in the work. He's one of the first ones there. He's one of the last ones to leave. He works as hard as anybody else, if not harder. Like CJ said, they ain't worried. I mean, CJ's a veteran. When does that, guys? We can't forget, CJ is a top veteran. This guy was a top drafted prospect who was a top linebacker in the league for the majority of his career. For him to say, I ain't worried about a quarterback that's just going into his second year, that's a damn good praise. That's a damn good praise. CJ's like, we ain't worried. None of us are worried because like CJ said, this kid is dedicated. Love what he said. Remember that exact quote. He says he puts countless hours in the film room and after work trying to get better on one little thing. You guys remember, since we drafted this kid, all I kept talking about was the intelligence, right? They always kept saying how he's learning. Saleh, Douglas, LaFleur, everybody, teammates across the board were just blown away with how fast he learns, how quick he adjusts, but how he always wants to learn. The dude is a sponge. So again, this team is now stacked upon stacked. We know that. Excuse me. No one's questioning Joe Douglas anymore, but you guys know for years before this, I've been telling you guys Joe Douglas is a great GM. I saw it in the – remember, I told you guys know I do my own draft eval. Based on the players he was drafting, I knew this guy was the real deal. I knew that he understood prospects, he understood talent, he understood need, and he understood how to build our team right, brick by brick from the bottom with a strong foundation up. Not like in the past where the foundation's just made out of fucking toothpicks and then they got a strong bridge on top with the veterans that they sign in free agency and they're like, oh man, why is the bridge swaying? This bridge ain't swaying, guys. This bridge ain't going anywhere. That foundation is cemented and concreted in with the backbone that Joe Douglas has built this team with. Again, the talent he's brought in, I've been saying it for a while. People are seeing it now. I was saying it for a while too. You remember, I was saying it before we got the kid. I was saying it last year, and I'll be reminding people next year again after the fact that Zach Wilson has the potential to be great. This kid has the work ethic, the drive, the physical talent, the arm ability, the intelligence, the pocket awareness, pocket mobility and ability, just everything. Just checks all the boxes. Again, had not a great rookie year, had an okay rookie year, but like we talked about, substantially improved. Substantially improved when coming back from injury. In the red zone last year in his rookie year with injuries left and right, threw 6 of his 9 touchdowns and not a single interception. He's a smart kid and a smart football player. All he needed was quality around him. He needed more talent. He needed more to be able to succeed. And Joe Douglas has made sure that that is the freaking case. So again, this team is stacked on offense, stacked on defense, and all these people saying, well, Zach's the only problem and we got to worry about him. We got nothing to worry about, guys. Zach Wilson is going to be great. Zach Wilson, I can't wait, man. He's going to come out this year and he's going to show everybody who he is. So we got Michael. Michael says a little late, but here. Appreciate you being here, brother. Appreciate all you guys. And like Jets King points out, Chiefs were a way better team when Mahomes played, and that's exactly the point. Last year, half the team was injured, like, for the majority of the season. Remember, first freaking Elijah's out, then he comes back, then Corey's out, then he just back and forth. No one's healthy. The offensive line was pretty bad last year. Remember, toward the end of the season, for the last, 4 games, they were good. But everything before that was not so good. Remember, Zach was running for his life half the freaking time. So, yeah, Mahomes had his rookie season to sit, watch, learn. He wasn't thrown in. It wasn't trial by fire like Zach. And like you point out, Jets gang, he had a lot of talent around him. He had around him what Zach is going to have around him this year. That's the best way to think about it. Mahomes was able to succeed because his team was stacked. offensively and defensively. Well, Joe Douglas has made sure that that's the case. Going into 2022, this team is stacked. This team is stacked offensively and defensively. And man, Zach Wilson is primed to have a big second year. So Tom points out he's psyched like me. Saying, can't wait for the season to start. Feels like expectations are mounting. Man, I love it. Expectations are mounting because for the first time we see it. People ain't shitting on the Jets no more, right? All that crapping is over. All that crap falling down on us, all they're doing is praising us now. They're like, oh, the Jets are so great. Oh, their team is going to be so good. Oh, Joe Douglas is a great GM. Well, it took them long enough to realize it. Glad they finally jumped on board and joined the freaking train. We're going to show them. We're going to show them. Again, this team is stacked, and Zach Wilson is the guy to be our quarterback. So I appreciate all your guys' comments. If you guys have any other questions, please let me know. You know, if you have any right now, if you have any questions, anything you want to ask, any specific topic you want me to bring up, anything specific you want to talk about, please let me know. Again, I love interacting with you guys. I appreciate all you guys here. I really, really do. I mean it. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate you guys being part of the podcast. And please bring your comments, bring your questions. Love to interact with you guys. Love to talk to you guys. So if you have anything else you guys want to bring, let me know. But before I leave you guys, I want to leave you with a PSA on Joe Douglas. And this is my PSA on Joe Douglas. So as most of you know, and if maybe you're new to tuning in, maybe you don't know, I'm a teacher. I'm an educator. And at the school I work at now, it's actually a pretty unique opportunity. I got the ability to create 2 courses from scratch. They actually hired me to teach elective courses. And one of those courses was a leadership and public speaking course. Well, while doing that leadership course, I wrote it down right here to remind myself. While I was doing my leadership course, I asked it was part of the curriculum I created, but toward the beginning of the course that I had done with them, one of the first things I wanted them to do was think about leaders they had in their own life. Think about leaders that meant something to them, people that either reached out to them or, led them or gave them confidence to believe in themselves. I basically asked them, who was the most influential leader in your life? And then they wrote something on it and we spoke about it and we all talked about it. And it was great. A lot of them opened up, talked about their experiences. But at the end, they asked me. They turned around and said, well, Mr. Glazer, what about you? What about you, Mr. Glazer? Who's your leader? And you know what? I had to take a second. I had to think about it. Because, to be honest, I've had some good people in my life, but I really haven't had that many people that I would call, leaders when I was younger, per se. But I thought about it, and that's when I realized something. That's when I realized I finally had an answer. And I turned to them and said, I have an answer for you guys. And that answer is Joe Douglas. Joe Douglas is a leader of men. Joe Douglas has given us confidence and belief again in a team that we all love, in a team that we have bled, sweat, and cried into for decades to be good. Finally, Joe Douglas is here to lead us to the promised land. So my public service announcement is a thank you. Thank you, Joe Douglas. Because again, when my students asked me, I had to think about it for a minute. I was like, I don't know who it would be. But then it just came to me. I realized it's Joe, man. Joe is the leader that we all want to be. Joe is a leader of men. He's got charisma. He's got passion. People gravitate to him. They believe in him. Saleh and him together are building something so special. And I, as a Jet fan like you guys, as a Jet fan my whole life dealing with this, it's been rough, honestly, always kind of being a Jet fan. But this last decade, guys, this last decade was so rough. This last decade, going back from 2010 to about 2020, was so rough. It was so difficult to deal with and handle. But you guys, just like me, we stuck it out because we don't go anywhere. When the going gets tough, we stay. That's what Jet fans do. We don't run away. We don't abandon ship. We go down with the damn ship. We were ready to go down with the ship until Joe Douglas showed up, patched that ship up, grabbed the helm and said, I got this. I'm going to lead you somewhere. So again, they asked me, and it made me realize I am so thankful and grateful to have a leader like Joe Douglas in my life, and not just for me, for young Jet fans, that are 5, 6, 8, 10, 12 years old. They finally have someone to look up to. They finally have a GM that they can look to and say, that is a leader. That is a great man. We are so fortunate and so lucky to have Joe Douglas. Sorry, I'm tired crying up a little bit because I'm just so thankful and so appreciative. Thank you, Joe Douglas. Thank you for coming to us. Thank you for taking us out of the gutter and raising us up and showing us what we can be. We've been down there so long that we are so hyped and so excited and so ready to go to the promised land, and you are going to lead us there. Joe Douglas is the man to take us the distance, and I am so grateful and so thankful to finally have a leader like Joe Douglas in my life, and so thankful for all the young Jet fans that they have somebody like Joe to look up to emulate as a role model, and I am so thankful for that. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you all tuning in. I appreciate you guys being here and being part of the Take Flight Spit and Fire podcast. As you guys know, we're live every Monday at 7 p.m. Please tune in. Please take part. Like Tom says, amen. Like Jets Gang says, JD is doing for the Jets what John Favre is doing for Star Wars. So funny, man. So funny, but so true. Thank you. Just thank you, Joe. Thank you for everything. Thank you for being a leader to me. Thank you for being a role model to the young Jet fans. Thank you for finally taking us to where we knew we can go. We needed somebody like you. Thank you. Thank you, Joe Douglas. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart. So I thank you guys again for tuning in. Thank you for being part of the Take Flight Spit and Fire podcast. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. I will see you guys next Monday. And our time is coming. Our time is coming because of Joe Douglas, because of Robert Saleh, because of Zach Wilson. And I can't wait. Thank you guys again. Appreciate you being here. And let's go, Jets!